This is the foundation inspection, and I'm at the front of the house. You see a gutter downpipe coming down from the roof here, and you can see it's emptying directly onto the grade below. This is very bad. It's got to be extended out about 6 feet to take it away from this surface. This is ethos, and as such it can be penetrated by water under certain circumstances. In addition to that, this particular gutter downpipe has actually come away. You can see I can move it, and that needs replacing. Now this is the ethos again, and you can see here that the grade is coming too close to the ethos. That's going to cause dampness to get up underneath. Again, we've got a problem with a downpipe here. It's emptying too close to this wall. That's got to be extended out away from the actual building itself. Here the ethos is in contact with the ground cover. That's going to lead to rot inside that wall if that's not cut back in the near future. We'll check it with an infrared camera later on to see whether or not it's wet. Probably not, but it can do. Oh, now we really have got it bad here. You can see in this corner here where the grade is now covering the ethos. That is going to lead to major deterioration if it's not altered. That grade has got to be cut back so that the bottom of the ethos is exposed. At the bottom of the ethos is what we call a weep hole, or a weep area that allows water that gets through the ethos, comes through it, to drain from the bottom. Well, as it is at the moment, it can't. And as a consequence, it's going to cause deterioration. All the way along here, there's damage now to the ethos here. You see this patch here, how it's actually discoloured. That's where water is actually getting inside the ethos, and all the way along this edge there is grade in contact with the ethos. In addition to that, the rear garden is graded incorrectly. As it is at the moment, everything is sloping towards the house. It should be sloping away, and in time it's going to cause flood problems inside the house left unattended. Okay, so we're now at the rear left elevation still, and again the ground cover is in touch with the ethos. And then at the back here we have a deck. And while the deck is nice, the deck actually comes up to and touches the ethos. That's a big no-no. It should be completely separated from the ethos along here. There should be no contact whatsoever. An easy workaround in the near future will be to remove the decking boards close to the ethos all the way around, so the ethos is exposed, can drain unhindered, and we won't get water being drawn up inside it. And you can see these brown areas. That's exactly what's happening. I'm at the rear elevation, and I'm looking at the roof, and there's considerable distortion in the decking just to the left of that vent pipe. Now, when I was in the attic earlier, there was some movement in the decking boards, and again we're seeing it reflected in the surface, but there wasn't that much movement. What it looks like is that we have a bubble over the top of that roof. We have a bubble in the roof, or we certainly have something going on with the decking here and the roof. I recommend that this roof is inspected by a roofer to get a good opinion on the condition of it. As it stands at the moment, I'm very doubtful about the area I've identified, and and whether or not it's going to give long-term integrity to the roof and make it waterproof. Obviously the roof is critically important to the long-term survival and maintenance of the building. I'm at the rear elevation and we're looking at the gutter system. You can see the gutters are completely jammed with debris. These gutters will not work, they're going to flood, and with ethos wall finish that's going to be critical. It could cause a lot of damage in the future. These gutters must be cleaned. I'm standing at the left the left side rear elevation of the property. What I'm looking at here is the ethos, and you can see that it's coming down and is in contact with the shingles. That will cause a problem. This area will get wet in the future. In fact, it's probably wet now, and you're going to get rot behind this ethos at some point. This should be cut back. There should be a gap here so that water running down doesn't touch this material. As it is at the moment, it has no option but to come into contact with it. Again, we're at the rear elevation and the gutters are absolutely jammed with debris. That's going to cause a problem. This is a vent. It's a sewer vent, and it has a rubber boot here. Well, that boot has been incorrectly sealed. It's obviously leaked and somebody's put a corking around it. Well, corking is not intended to go around that part of the boot. What you should do if it's leaking there is replace it. That was a very, very cheap fix, and it's not acceptable. It will leak sometime in the future, if not leaking already. This is the attic inspection. I'm standing next to the attic hatch, and we have a rat infestation in the attic. This Romex cable is going across the service boards here. We've got another one there. All Romex cables. And we've got incorrect use of an extension cord in the attic. That can be a fire hazard. It needs to be removed. This is a vent for the bathroom extractor fan, which is below us, and it's actually venting into the attic. It should be taken to the soffits, or better still, to a vent on the roof above us here. I'm actually standing midway in the attic now, and we have a very poor modification here. This is a purlin, and what it does is it stops the attic rafters, these are the rafters here, from spreading. And the purlin should be attached to the top plate, which is down below us. It should be attached down there. Well, you can see it was installed by the framers. Here it is, installed, and then somebody cut it off and removed it. Now they probably did that when they were trying to install the AC unit, and this purlin was inconvenient, got in the way, and so they simply cut it away. It needs to be replaced. Can be done quite easily, but it needs to be replaced. Need a strut supporting the purlin run to the top plate there. There's actually a rafter there, or a joist. Actually, there's a joist there. It could be attached there. Now this is the same purlin we were dealing with earlier, and again you can see that there was a support there, a support strut, and it's been cut away. That would have run down to the attic decking here, and it's not. So we want to see that strut improved, just to improve the structural integrity of the whole roof system. And then there's another purlin missing from down there. I'm at the far end of the attic now. You can't see much, so I'm just using this as a recorder, so I've got a verbal record of what I'm looking at. What I can see here is a roof deck board that's moved, and you can see this edge here, this edge here shows you where the board has moved, so there's a bit of deflection there. This is the water heater, and what we've got here is a loose hood. Hi there. Hood vent. That needs to be secured.
I'm sorry, what?
It's alright, I'm recording.
Oh, yeah, oh,
This is the roof at the left elevation. We can see up here we have a vent, and it's been caulked. That needs to be replaced. There's some lifting shingles at various points here. The gable end is constructed correctly. In this one you can see that the ephes doesn't come down and come into contact with the shingles, which is correct. We are at the left side elevation. You can see here that the ephes is in contact with the shingles. That's not good. Over here, right up in the corner here, it looks like there's a gap. There's certainly been some activity by rats. You can see it's been chewed here, and this may be the access point for the rats. We've got more chewing here. Now I know the squirrels were blamed for this, but squirrels don't normally try and get in attics. Rats do, and we've got rat droppings in the attic, so we know rats have been in there. This is the water heater. There's no signs of corrosion or damage on the outside, although this hood here is not secured. That needs to be secured. It's a temperature pressure relief valve, and it's operating perfectly. That's the drain line to the outside world. This is the compressor for the upper building. It's currently running. This one hasn't come on yet. I've switched it on. We'll see a bit later to see if it comes on. This is a functional flow test. We've currently got a lot of water coming out of the faucet to the top, and we're also running the shower, and you can see here it's got lots of water, so all's working well, got good functional flow.